Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to teamfortress.tv. I'm FrickMyNick. I'm joined by BILLDOZER as my co-caster and Looster200 on the camera. Gonna be watching some RGL Season 2 invite. We've got RGL versus 100B. Yes, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
It's been a night. Yeah, as I say, we're casting 100B versus RGL on this. We also have TFTV2 up. They're casting... I don't know what game they're casting off the top of my head. I'm gonna be honest.
Dunk versus
Dunk and MLX. So another good game happening on TFTV2. You know, we're out here, 100% professional cast. How you doing tonight, Bill?
I'm doing pretty well, Nick. Thank you for asking. Excited to see some exciting TF2. Two great teams facing off tonight on a great map.
Yeah, I mean, Gully Wash is a classic map. I'm pretty excited to see both these teams play. 100B has that, pretty notably has the W over Froyo this season. It's been a hot minute since Froyo's lost to anybody, and they didn't even win it by one round. I think it's the first time in a very long time that Froyo has lost really anything by more than a margin of one round. So 100B showing a lot of promise this season. And on the other side of things, we have the, I wouldn't say up-and-comers, but the newly formed RGL, who are a pretty interesting mix of players.
Yeah, RGL with a 80 grade name, coming in with a lot of... You know, you've got some older players on this team, and you've got some players that, you know, I guess none of them are really that new, but they've made a name for themselves a little more recently, and I've been loving from what I'm seeing out of some of these players.
Yeah, I wouldn't suffice it to say that they're veterans, but they've been around for a while. Alex.exe, he's been around. He's played a couple seasons of Invite. May's been around. He's played Invite on a couple different classes. He played for Pocket for Forward a couple seasons ago in ESCA, and he's played Medic a handful of times in Invite. Speedy's the same way. He's played Scout and Soldier in Invite, and we are just waiting for the teams to ready up. They're trying to figure out the configs, to my understanding, so we could be here for a hot minute while they try and figure out configs, but, you know, we're going to be seeing... You know, a pretty good mix of new school and old school players on the RGL team coming together to try and sneak into that RGL LAN playoff spot.
Yeah, I think it's just difficult to call anybody a veteran. When you compare them to 100 Beasts, I think all of these players have been around since I started, which was like season 16, season 17.
Many moons ago, yeah. I was going to say 100 B is a pretty stacked roster, kind of coming in with the core of the previous Ascent teams that we saw, like the last season of ESCA. They kind of have that core of like... Bot Mode and Jay, and they're bringing in some new school talent. They're bringing in kind of like the old 20B players, so they've got they're bringing in Showstopper, Ash, and 404. Pretty notably, 404 played on Froyo previously, went to I-58 with them. Pretty notable medic. He's been around for a very long time. He's been kind of in and out of the top level of the scene. Showstopper and Ash are the same way. They come around every couple seasons to play with 20B, and then Bot Mode has been pretty consistently at the top level of the games for the last couple years even. So.
Yeah, and I've loved watching Bot Mode sort of growing into this demo role. He's really been doing extremely well, and I love watching his aggressive play.
Yeah, Bot Mode's always a treat to watch. There's some nights where he just pops off, and he just actually doesn't miss on demo, and it's pretty incredible. And this is the map to see it on, too. Gully Wash is pretty notably a very good map for a lot of projectile classes, so hopefully we'll see some good air shots tonight.
And speaking of projectile classes, I think that that's going to be where the... actual difference could lie in these teams, because I think that Yite and Jay are a pretty nasty combo, but I think that over the years, Shamu and Kev have shown that they're, you know, just as capable.
Yeah, I would say, I think Kev's played a few seasons of Invite. I'm not sure if he's ever made Invite playoffs to my knowledge, but he's been one of those players that's been on the cusp of it for a couple seasons in the past, and I think this is like a big chance for him to prove himself. And Shamu is also a player that's kind of been like on the bottom end of playoffs Invite, never really got to that, like, you know, that second place, first place kind of spot. But I think he's been showing really strong this season, especially in their match, I want to say it was yesterday, versus Ford. The back cap that he had with Speedy, he just had really good plays all throughout the match, but particularly like in the second half and then that golden cap, he just really wanted his team the game. So, I mean, we're seeing some really good performances from the up-and-comers on, I would say up-and-comers, but, you know, the people from RGL this season. And, you know, on the other side of things, 100B is also playing super hot with this win against Froyo. So I think this is the first time these teams have played, and we are going to be going live. Who are your players to watch, Bill?
Oh, man, I want to watch the Soldiers from RGL, because we both know that they're pretty capable players, but compared to the core of 100B, I'd love to see how they're able to stand up and deal with some of this incredible DM.
Yeah, it looks like both demos are going to be revving in their chokes about the same time. We're actually going to get a decently fast bomb on from Speedy trying to pressure bot mode here as both teams are just trading sides. Looks like Showstopper's going to be going up, the other team's drop as 100 Beats is going to be pressuring here, but they're going to lose a scout early and Show's going to go down as well. They're not going to find anything. They're going to get a ton of damage to Alex.exe, but huge pipes from bot mode's going to clean too, and Alex.exe is just 1 HP on the other side of things despite how awful the start of a mid that was for 100B. They're able to kind of bring it back, but Ratchel's able to kind of stabilize on the point. They're able to get Alex.exe healthy, and Speedy's able to meet up with his team. And Ratchel's going to win this first mid.
Yeah, you saw 100B trying to play in this little porch area on the blue side, but they weren't able to capitalize on any of the damage, and they were cleaned up very quickly. But the important thing there was Alex.exe getting caught on this windowsill up above the blue choke. And while we do have a sniper coming out from Kev, I want to point that out real quick. Alex.exe got caught at about 1 health on this windowsill up here, and 100B weren't able to take him out. And you know, if they had been able to, they would have been able to clear that pretty easily. But with that damage coming back out into the choke area, they couldn't really do much about it.
Yeah, Kev's just taking he took a cheeky angle through choke on like this fence thing. He's looking through choke. Misses his first shot. They're just gonna be taking their heals through big door here. Gonna be trying to rotate their spam, see if they can get somebody to peek their sniper here, kind of force the issue. As 100B, they're playing it really smart. They're trying to play this angle. Showstopper's actually gonna jump in. They're actually gonna get a ton of damage. Showstopper goes down super weak. This team's gonna get in, but they're not gonna be able to save him. Show's gonna go down though. So with this pick, this is you know, really good for RGL. They can work their sniper here, as it looks like they're just going to be trying to run their sniper in. Alpha's going to counter-sack through the choke. He's not going to find anything, as the numbers are going to even out here.
Yeah, I can appreciate the aggression at a Showstopper. It wasn't a bad idea, but it can be really difficult to get through this big door if your jumps are not on point that night. And, you know, as you saw there, it's a tough spot to get caught, and you were able to pick them up pretty easily.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see if one of the soldiers here are going to come up off a respawn. It looks like Show's going to come out of spawn, so he's just going to stay on Soldier, and it looks like Alpha is as well. Alpha is pretty notorious for playing off classes, but they have a sniper, but they could run a spy, they could run some interesting stuff. It's early in the game, so they've got plenty of time to work with, and I think Ratchel's going to be wanting to try and get as many rounds as possible. Showstopper is going to get domed by Kev here, so Kev's going to be trying to peek in deep in the big door area.
Yeah, we actually see a bomb here coming out of Speedy, not able to find much as we have this airtight hold up on top of River, but they're going to try and push out Ratjail into this choke area. Looking for some room here in Big Door is 100B, as they're going to back up and look to possibly re-push this through choke. Ratjail getting ready to try and defend that, but it looks like things may just slow down again, as we do see Alpha getting kind of low.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're trying to rotate their heals around. 100B was looking to see if they can maybe get an entrance to the choke point there. But Ratchel's gonna make the quick rotation back up. Once again, Kev just sniping from the big door. Very tentative play, very chess-like to start out this match. I don't think either team wants to start on a deficit, especially on a map like Gully Wash that's notorious for playing very slow in these very close matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that 100B has decided to hold down on the ground now, not choosing to leave their medic up in the river area. Which could choose to be a little bit more of a problem if there's a big bomb coming out. We see Speedy has just gone into the red lobby looking for a possible way to get onto the red medic, which is going to be easier considering that they're not playing in river. But 100B has rotated out onto midpoint, kind of catching Ratchel a little bit unawares, as they're going to find a frag out onto Alex.exe, which is huge. The Uber comes out, and we're going to possibly see a trade here on mid.
Yeah, it's not going to be much of a trade, though. They're going to get the force out of 404, but May's not going to really have any teammates to flash. Kev's actually going to get in from the drop down. He's looking for the scout on the point, but he's actually not going to see anybody. The scout just dancing around the point there, as Kev's actually just still in on mid on sniper here, as Ratchel's trying to get the respawners in. It looks like they're going to have to give up 2, as they're still waiting on 2 spawns until right now.
There's an opportunity for Kev to make a real hero play here. Not really any sort of ad afforded. You know, 404 is still pretty even with May, and it looks like they're going up into that river, so Kev is just going to have to try and get out through lobby, and looks like we're going to possibly stalemate out here a little bit longer. 404 does have about a 20% ad, but in Gully Wash with an NG up, that's not really enough to try and do much with.
Yeah, this is a very hard last to push, especially with just a 20% ad, as Showstopper's going to go down to the C trap from Alex.exe.
Showstopper maybe playing a little bit overly aggressive, or rather, I think that Ratchail is doing a good job of managing that aggression really well. He hasn't really been able to find much purchase in this game so far.
Yeah, and it looks like Ratchail's going to come up on their Uber here. They're finally going to get it. 100B not opting to push off that. I don't think they really knew about it. I think it's just because May was disconnected for a little while there, as we were just going to see both teams set up on last, and the classic Gully Wash stalemate continues.
I do like this sentry positioning, though. It really can help out with a team that wants to push through water. We see Showstopper peeking water. Not really anything else as far as pushing. If 100B wants to try and push directly in through main or from launch pad, they could find themselves dealing with the sentry gun a little bit easier. It seems like RGL is expecting them to try and push through river, but it's just Showstopper really standing over there.
Yeah, and we're going to see a trade of frags here. We're going to see Yate run in, and they're actually going to trade it out for Alex.exe. Bot mode's going to claim that frag, but Speed's going to trade it out in the main area. 100B, Kev's going to get the full charge body shot into J, as it looks like things are just going to reset here with 100B being down 3 players.
And it looks like we might see RGL try and find an opportunity to push out. 100B is standing up on this river area as we actually see a bomb coming in from RGL, and we see both Ubers coming out. We have 404 a little bit disconnected from Showstopper, who's going to get out on the mid while this fight kind of takes place in river. We have 404 kind of suspended up there, looking for a place to be, but everything's going to reset kind of, and you know, we're going to have stuff go back to the stalemate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, RGL got a better Uber there, but it doesn't really look like they were in a position to like capitalize off it. It was just really May and Speedy on 2, and Kev was able to get into that big door area, but with the respawner coming in from 100B, he could have gotten pinched, so they decided to just back up to last. It's very, again, very tentative, very chess-like match play to start out this match. I don't think either team wants to lose this first round.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how this first round ends up going. It looks like 100 Beasts may just want to try and push everything river. As we see multiple players, Showstopper, both scouts going river. We have scouts going down in the water. We have a sentry going up, possibly not to that level 3 in time, but some would say that a level 2 is better for defending this. And we're going to see what they try and do to break this stalemate at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like Alpha's actually going to get the pick onto Showstopper. They're going to get the gun on the other side of things, as Show's going to be battling it out with the scout in water, but the scout's just going to lead. Again, very slow play. Show's just going to walk his way back up to his team. And it looks like Kev's going to go down the other side of things, so we're going to see the counter sack here.
Yeah, and Kev with a very long respawner. Still 10 seconds left. Possibly an opportunity for, not to push necessarily, but for 100B to try and be a little more aggressive with the way they're spamming. We actually see Speedy go down from a bot mode pipe, and that's a pretty all-right pick for the likes of 100B. And if they keep looking for places to get in, I like the aggressive spam. We could see them try and find a better opportunity once Showstopper is reconnected and once bot mode is reconnected.
Yeah, and we actually have Shamu on mid. Shamu is actually behind the other team. I think he's going to try and spawn camp bot mode, who's coming up now, but yeah, bot mode's going to be rolling out, and he has no idea that Shamu's there. Shamu's going to be able to get right up behind him in the choke. Kev's going to die on the other side of things, but Shamu's going to be able to successfully spawn camp bot mode. They know he's behind now, but without that demo man, it's hard to hold the Gully Wash lobby, as Shamu's actually going to start a back cap behind all of 100B. So yeah, they're going to go back for him, as May actually got forced on last. I completely missed that.
Yeah, we saw Alpha trying to push 404 out, possibly get the Force. Isn't able to find that, but he is able to get them all the way back out to that second point, as we do see a big bomb coming in from Alpha. One rocket out onto 404, isn't able to find the second one, but we do see RGL players coming out onto the second point looking for an opportunity. However, aggressive bombs from the soldiers are going to push them back into the last point, and the hold continues.
Yeah, I would say that. I also think they fear the Uber from 404s. They're going to be coming in from the shutter area. It's going to be Jay leading it in with bot mode. There's no off classes. There's just a Pyro walking out of spawn just now, but there's no stickies on the point. They're going to get so much cap time. They're going to come into contest, but the scout's going to get back on it, and it's going to be the first round here for 100B.
That was a pretty tight round, pretty good. I'd like to see what Alex.exe wants to do on this next mid, Nick.
Yeah, I would say I think he was lucky to survive the last one, and I think that 100B is going to be pressuring him really hard on these mids, so we'll have to see if he's able to find the same luck this mid, as it looks like RGL's trying to go the opposite team's side. No, just the scouts are playing a little aggressive. They're making sure bot mode has no space to work with, as Alex.exe is very passive in this mid, but Showstopper is going to get the better of Speedy early in the mid. Kev's going to trade out the frag, though. We can see the bomb across from the soldiers here. They're trying to get in, but 100B is going to lose 2 players. They're going to lose bot mode and Ash. No projectile classes. Yite's going to die as well. It's just going to be 404 and Jay leaving through the choke.
We saw Kev putting up some big damage, managing to get a 3K on that mid. Oh my goodness, that shot at Alpha onto 404 was insane. It's just going to be Showstopper in position to protect this point. We have Ash and bot mode coming up, looking to see what they can do. However, we're going to see May with 100% Uber easy. The entire team probably going to just push in through river, And, you know, this is looking like a pretty closed-up point for Gully Wash.
Yeah, Alpha with a really good flank through Big Door there was able to catch 404 off. I think they were aware of the people through the choke, but they weren't able to keep track of Alpha late into that mid and snuck in there from the Big Door. As we're going to see the Uber in from main, it's going to be Shamu and Alex.exe leading it in here. As they're going to get all the space on the right side, they're going to get the stickies, they're going to get the cap. They had 3 people on the point. Nobody's able to get a contest on the side of 100B as it's going to be a 1-1 game.
Well, we saw the RGL was playing a little bit more together up on that blue side this mid, and it worked a lot better for them. They were playing a little more conservatively, waiting for the red team members to come to them, and it worked out really well for them. So I'd like to see what they're able to do this time as we see both red scouts pushing extremely aggressively up onto the blue side. We see Showstopper going down immediately, 404 actually going down to Speedy, and it looks like 100B is going to be able to clean this up pretty well. However, 404 going down, still pretty big, 60%, probably 70% add, afforded to May to try and hold this second point with.
Yeah, May and Alex.exe are going to be the survivors for RGL on that mid. They lost everybody else, but they were able to get 4-4, so it's not a terrible position for them here, as they are going to be able to repush into their 2 since 100B has no heals on 2. But Alex.exe once again lived on the mid. He was just a mere 2 HP on this mid and was able to get healthy again. Alex.exe is going to die to the stickies from bot mode. They're going to trade out Ash in the upper area, but they're actually going to drop Alpha here. They're going to Uber in. It's just going to be a solo on Kev, and they're not going to be able to find any frags with this Uber. Bot mode's going to juggle him in the choke, and RGL just had a not so good Uber trying to retake 2, as 100B is going to be trying to push in from the Big Door area.
I don't know what May is doing here. He seems to want to get these heals out onto his players a little too badly, walking through the Big Door. Looks like 404 did go down again in that last fight. A little bit of questionable positioning out of him, but I kind of appreciate the aggression coming out of RGL, but maybe that Uber was a little too aggressively used there as they tried to run through choke. But we are going to see 100B getting the cap, but we are going to have about a 30% add on May that they can use to try and hold this point.
Yeah, and May's going to clean up the frag onto Showstopper in this river area, as they're going to be trying to repush here, knowing that 404 is just arriving on the front lines, and May has this Uber ad, but especially with this pick, they're prostrate up on this upper area, but they're very tentative, as the scout trying to get in from the lower area is just going to rotate back to his team, as this is a slow push from RGL, as they're going to get up on this Uber. They're actually going to get 2 frags on the 100B players. They're actually going to pick their flank. They're going to get Ash and Yite here, as they're going to get this cap up. But 404 is at 85%, so if they can get this Uber, they have a chance to either take an exchange or leapfrog on mid.
Yeah, and we're going to see them walking through mid here, doing their best to try and push 100B out. We see them standing pretty far back, but I'm ready to see some soldier bombs coming up, possibly from Showstopper, who's going to get possibly caught on that ramp. He's going behind now, looking for a bit of a flank, but let's focus on what's going on point. We see the Uber coming out of Rat Jail. We see them pushing 100B out, as we actually see Alex.exe going to J. We see May going down. Big bombs out of the soldiers of 100B.
That looked so good for RGL. They stayed together. They got such a better Uber, and they were able to take so many players into 100B. They were able to basically instantly kill 404 and Ash off the back of that, and then they were able to turn back around and kill Show when he tried to set up for like a potential pinch or anything. But then late in that fight, Jay just went off. I think he just hit 6 meat shots and every pistol shot and was able to really turn that around with the help of bot mode and Yite. And what looked like a really awful post Uber to start off for 100B is actually going to turn it into a fight win for them.
However, that early pick onto 404 is going to do a lot to help out Rat Jail, as there's only about a 10-20% advantage for 100B, and you know, things are kind of going to slow down a little bit again. However, we do see 100B looking a little bit more comfortable this time.
Yeah, and 20% is really hard to push into Gully last, but I think 100B, with how aggressive they've been this season, I think they're going to try and go for it. Jay's posturing up in the shutter. Bot mode's there with them. They're going to go for it, as they're going to Uber through the shutter. It's about a 23% add. They actually haven't popped yet. They're milking it through. They're trying to get the sentry gun, but May's at 85%. He's going to be able to potentially get this before they can pressure the point. The gun has yet to go down, but they're going to get Speedy with the gun, and they're going to get Shamu. They're getting all the frags they need. They're going to clean up Alpha. Scout on the point. They're not able to get any contest. It's going to be 2-1 here.
All right, so that is good aggression, pushing in with just that slight advantage. You saw some really great positioning out of that sentry gun. It was actually stalling 100B very well, but it wasn't stalling them well enough. You saw May back up a little too far, and he and his scout were not able to get back to the point in time to try and defend.
Yeah, once again, we're going to see the really early bomb out of Showstopper. He's going to get into Alex.exe, and Ash is going to bomb in as well, but they're actually not going to get anything. 100B Soldier is not successful on that bomb. Alex.exe is going to live again. They're going to trade out Alpha on the other side of things, but that's all they're going to find, as they're going to lose their demo and their scout. It's just going to be Jay and 4-4 trying to leave again, but 4-4 gets caught again in the shutter door. These bids are going atrociously the last couple for 100B.
Kev is moving with a purpose, man. He's got 100B's number, I gotta say.
Let's say late into these fights, it's been really good for 100B in that last fight that got them that last round. Was really good for them, but pretty consistently, like when the team fights kind of devolve and things get scrappy, RGL's kind of coming out on top. They're able to keep their scouts with their heals, and they're able to just play a little more together. As there's an opportunity here for 100B to try and do something in the upper area. They're going to take their heals there, but since May has this Uber, there's going to have to play super tentatively. As Yite's actually going to get caught in. He's actually going to get juggled by Alex.exe. So they have no off classes on last, and they're at about a 50 Uber ad. So they're going to be walking in from the shutter area. They're going to pop it in onto Kev, and they're going to take the double scout. They're going to catch bot mode. Bot mode's not going to make it out. No stickies on the point. Scout's in. Nobody's in the position to contest, and it's going to be 2-2. Once again, RGL's able to tie it up super quickly.
Suddenly we see 100B on the back foot, looking like they don't really have any sort of momentum here. So I want to see what bot mode plans to do. I want to see what the soldiers from 100B plan to do about this time around.
Yeah, and the last couple of mids have gone in the favor of RGL. They've been pressuring bot mode super hard. He's not able to get a lot of this early damage out. So we're going to see the big bomb in from Alpha, as we're going to see Alex.exe is going to get the early pick on the Yite. Bot mode and Showstopper are not super healthy. Everybody on RGL's at a decent amount of HP as they're going to be trying to get across the point. It's a little scrappy here, but they're just going to push him out of mid as Showstopper is going to die. And we're going to see RGL winning the mid, but it's not as bad as the last couple. But they're actually going to get wrapped here. 100B is trying to push back in through the choke, knowing that the other team's combos behind. They're going to be pushing in, but 4-4 is not going to get it out. They're going to get collapsed onto the choke. Bot mode's going to get pick onto Speedy, but that's all they're going to find.
Yeah, we saw RGL moving with a real purpose. We saw them immediately moving towards Big Door as the fight was won. However, 100B already had plans, and they decided to wrap through choke, but Alpha and Kev were waiting for them, and they shredded them in that choke.
Yeah, and I was going to say, 100B has been, leading the scoreline in this game, but it looks like RGL's going to have an opportunity to take the lead finally. They have a full Uber. It looks like they're gearing up in the Riverside. They're trying to take the classic demo scout in is what it looks like. As, yep, we're going to see the double scout along with the demo, so it doesn't look like they're going to try and get the scout onto the point. They're looking to clear the stickies, but the stickies are going to claim one, and the scout's actually going to go down to the pyro, so it's just going to be the scout in water as well as the soldier in. They're going to try and go for anything they can get. They're going to get a couple of trade frags, but 100B is going to be able to hold on to that one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and I want to say that it was actually the pyro out of Jay that was doing a lot of work keeping that point clear. I was watching that pretty closely, and he was demolishing the scouts of RGL. And we're going to see 404 with about an 80-90% advantage here. And I would not be surprised
but Alpha's in on the 404. 405 dies once again. This is exactly the opposite of what you've seen from 404 all season. He's been having some really hot games, particularly against Furry. He played so well. He was dying a lot less than Cookie Jake, but he's died so many times this match already. We're going to look like 100B is going to be trying to salvage. They're going to get on to May, but May with some excellent movement. He's going to go down eventually, but 100B is going to have to sell out so hard for it.
And we saw the scouts of 100B kind of saving that round for themselves, as things kind of fell apart there for RGL. Kev going down to Jay. We're going to see them taking the mid.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been really scrappy, and we usually see 100B does really well in these scrappy fights, but it looks like RGL's kind of had their number. They've been able to find like picks on the 404 or pressure bot mode really hard. As bot mode's going to die in the upper area, he's going to land on the sticky trap he bombed in. As with the demo pick, they have an opportunity to try and refight. This demo is so important on Gully Wash to help control the other area. As it looks like RGL's going to push back in 100B Ash. He's going to pick onto Alpha. And Shamu's going to go down as well, so RGL a little disconnected. Kev's going to try out the frag onto Yite, but it's just a chaotic fight.
Alex dropped down to try and help Shamu in that fight, which, for what it's worth, he should not have dropped down, and he surfed a rocket right back up on the river, and I think that could have possibly saved RGL from getting rolled straight through last. The fact that he surfed back up onto the ledge.
Yeah,
I just wanted to point out that little thing.
Yeah, it looks like the Ubers are gonna about even out. It looks like Hunter B wants to go off it though, but May's gonna get his Uber right as they try and get. So it's gonna be a really good exchange here for Alpha. He's trying to juggle bot mode. Bot mode with the smooth moves though is actually gonna get a cheeky sticky jump, but he's not gonna make it out. Alpha's gonna get the chase him out as Alex.exe and Alpha are just cleaning house in this lobby area. Alex.exe is gonna go down, but Alpha's still healthy. It's just raining down rockets on players. They're gonna see a full wipe out of 100B.
Really makes me wish that Rat Jail had a more appropriate name, because what we're seeing here is a meat grinder, but I don't want to really talk about a rat grinder. But
yeah,
we see the flank of Rat Jail absolutely tearing through 100B. It feels like that's what's doing it every time. You know, you see Kev come up and pick 2 kills. You see Alpha come up from with a cheeky flanker just hitting every rocket, and he's able to save a fight for them. Not to say that, you know, Alex and Speedy aren't doing well, but it feels like the flank is really dominating this match.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they've had a lot of openings, particularly onto 404, that have like really kept Rat Jill in this. As Rat Jill's gonna have about 30-ish% add, about closer to 40 actually, to push in less, and they're actually gonna spam down the gun super early. So there's no sentry gun. It's just gonna be a level 1 going up as they're gonna have the pyro. They're gonna get the Uber in. Again, it's gonna be the classic demo scout as the scout's trying to get onto the point. Alpha's gonna get in as well. The stickies are dead. Nobody gets to contest. 100B has not contested that point any single time Rat Jill's tried to play it, and they're gonna lose the half 3-2.
Come on, 100B, you're better than that.
Let's say
Everyone on that team should know what to do there. Not to say, obviously, it's not as easy as just jumping on point, but it feels as though that's just something that they've been very lackadaisical about this entire match.
But I mean, it happened to them twice already, where Rat Jill just takes their Uber in, right? They just have their demo climb up one side, and the scout that's in the Uber goes to the point, and Alpha jumps it at the same time. It's been the same last push out of them every single time they've been in the last, and they had a couple times where they were able to hold on, but they're not seeing the forced error out of them. They're not having a player come in to contest to try and potentially make it a fight. They're just basically, you know, they're choosing not to contest, which is just losing them the round straight up. And on the side of Rat Jail, we're seeing really good plays out of their flank. Again, like you were saying, they're not quite dominating, but when it really matters, they're coming up clutch.
Yeah, and, you know, regardless of the 3-2 scoreline, it really does feel like Rat Jail is in control this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've been winning the mids pretty convincingly. The last one, 100B was able to kind of stabilize on their second, but when they started to get wrapped, they tried to push back into mid, and they weren't quite quick enough to get through the choke. Able to separate the, you know, try and potentially play a spam game in the choke, but, and, you know, 100B, when they've had an advantage, they've looked really good, but I think they've been struggling to find advantages this game.
Yeah, and kind of to point out what I was saying about the flank, we see Alpha putting up some big numbers. I don't have the stats in front of me, so going off of points alone feels a little, what's a good word? Hold on, I got stats right here.
I would say unfair.
I would love to see exactly what kind of numbers Alpha's been putting up. So let's see. Alpha.
I mean, Alpha has 17 frags. He is
leading the server.
He's tied with bot mode. Bot mode is tied with him. Bot mode's going to be top damaging. He's at a big 345, but the projectile classes on Rat Jill are the next 3 in the standings here. Speedy's going to be at 286, 275 from Alex.exe, and 245 from Alpha. But Alpha he's 17 for 15. He's dying a lot, but I mean, Showstopper has the same amount of deaths, and Showstopper has 6 frags. Like, right now, the big difference is that Alpha is just coming up huge in comparison to Showstopper. Like 15 frags in a 20-minute game versus 6. That's a big difference maker.
Yeah, and it's the soldiers especially that are making this difference. The frag counts are pretty close between the two teams. 64 for Rat Jail versus 62 for 100B. However, you see 4 mid fights, one from Rat Jail, and 100B only have a single one. So yeah, it's not some kind of 900 IQ thing to say that mid fights win you rounds, but it's still something that kind of need to be thought about. You know, the game starts at the mid fight. You need to win that before you can do anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say Patty said this one of his previous casts, but you know, if you're playing TF2 absolutely perfectly, you only need to have perfect mid fights and perfect last pushes, and Gully Wash is no exception. If you win this mid, even if you don't win it that convincingly, it's so hard for a team to hold to if they're not 5 or 6 players up. And if you're leaving a mid after you've just lost one player, it almost seems like you're wasting the mids. I mean, this is a mid that, like, you see a lot of people die early. It pays to be the aggressor on this map, but if you're the first person to aggress and your team isn't able to come with you, a lot of times you can get baited. And I think 100B has been kind of running into that, where they have one player that's like, all right, I'm going to go aggressive, but the rest of their team isn't quite on the same page as them. And Rat Jail's been very clumped up. They've been kind of adopting the death ball method where they're just like, all right, everybody stay within range to get healed. If we need to, we can just like push into them, but we really just need to occupy space as a team.
Yeah, and death ball's good. It works, and I like how. Never mind. Thought I had something to say.
Yeah,
but we are going to be going live again. So thank you for saving my ass, TF2. Now I have something to talk about. So I'd like to follow Showstopper on this bid because we mentioned in the halftime that he was the guy that was kind of underperforming compared to his counterparts on RGL. So I'd like to see what his game plan is as we see a very aggressive bomb onto the midpoint as he decides to bail at the last second, getting the health pack, looking for some kind of room to get through, going up to the elbow of blue side, kind of hanging around, looking for a jump. He goes up, manages to get a kill out onto Alpha, which is pretty important, and immediately goes down to Kev. Wouldn't call that a bad mid by him, by any means.
No, and he had Kev looking at him for the entire mid. Kev really wasn't applying any forward pressure, and the rest of his team was able to kind of get across the point and help generate that frag onto Speedy because Kev was looking at him on the floor the entire time. But it looks like 100B's trying to push in from the choke point, but they are going to get punished here. May's going to pop his Uber off. They're looking for an exchange. They're going to pick onto Ash before the Ubers go off, but it looks like 4-4 is going to get a much better Uber on the other side of things as we're going to see Jay jumping in along with bot mode. Alex.AC's juggled way up in the air, but the 100B is going to be claiming all the frags here on RGL's 2, as May is actually going to make it out. He's going to meet up with the respawner of Speedy, but he's going to be the lone survivor of that fight.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly 100B talked about during that halftime, but it seems to work. They definitely seem to be moving with a little bit more purposes. Showstopper is going to get 2 perfect rockets onto May, which is going to open this point wide open for them, and we're going to see them take back around. Score now 3-3.
Yeah, I don't know what they talked about at the halftime, like you said, but whatever it is, Showstopper's got some pep in his step coming into the second half. Had a decent mid to start it off, and a great transition to help secure his team the round to tie it up 3-3 here, as we are going to be going into our 7th mid. And Alex.exe once again going to be trying to play super aggressive, going to find a ton of damage onto the scout. He's going to be about 30 HP. And Jay's going to die. He's going to get traded out. And 100B's just collapsing on this mid. Again, RGL's doing such a good job of just occupying space on their side. And they're going to chase down 4-4. 4-4 dies super late, trying to leave the mid once again. As we're seeing the Domins come back from the first half that RGL was showing.
Yeah, and I mean, that's nothing really that happened in that mid fight that we haven't seen before. We saw RGL kind of ball up on point, whereas 100 Beasts really took their time getting up onto point. So when the soldier bombs finally came out, there wasn't really anything that they could try and do. RGL was all standing there, everybody was looking at them, and they decided to start clicking on them. And before long, the soldiers of 100 Beasts were not on the screen anymore.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see the sentry gun go down pretty late. It's only going to be a level 1 if they decide to push right now, and it looks like that's what they're trying to go for. They're going to be going through the shutter here. They're going to take the 3 people that they've taken. It's going to be the demo scout and the soldier trailing behind. As they're going to pop it off eventually, they're going to get the pick onto Act. And again, they're trying to get on the point. The scout's in. Alpha's in a position to help him out. They're going to get on the point, and it's going to be 4-3 for RGL. Match point here.
Yeah, this game is so close. It's been like 23 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a super back and forth game, but it's been an absolute slugfest, and it pays to win mids, and RGL's definitely getting the benefits from that, as we're going to be going into our 8th mid here. As once again, we're going to see the high bomb out of Alpha, just going to be meeting up with his team. Showstopper's going to be going up the drop down once again, but they know.
Speedy's going drop down too.
Showstopper's been unsuccessful in a lot of these mids, but we're going to see Bob would be the first frag of the mid. Dev's going to get across, but again, once again, 100B's just deathballing. They're doing a really good job of just, being like, all right, we're going to push across the point as a team, and they throw their flank in there. They're going to lose Kev and Alpha, but they wipe 100B on the other side of things, and May, once again, lives the mid.
Yeah, RGL, rather showing that deathballing you were talking about. I saw Jay putting up a very valiant effort to try and save that mid for his team. However, didn't happen, and we're going to see RGL looking at a match point with a full Uber ad, just an engineer and a pyro trying to hold on this left side, which is, for what it's worth, the hold that they've done every round. And we're going to see if anything's able to go a little bit differently for him this time.
RGL's had really good pushes in the last. They had a couple flubbed ones early, but they've kind of dialed in on what 100B's doing on their defense, as it looks like they're going to be gearing up in the riverside here. Once again, we're going to see the scout leading it through. Alex.exe is going to come in. Alpha's going to bomb in once again. He's actually going to get an eye by the sentry gun, and Speedy's going to go down. Not as successful as an Ubers we're going to see, and Ash was actually in a position to deny the point there, so they weren't able to get the early point pressure that they've been going. It's just going to be super scrappy, as bot mode's going to take down Alpha along with Kev, so really good hold out of 100B. Ash was able to contest the point. They weren't able to get the early point pressure that RGL's been getting, and the push fell apart from there.
Yeah, I want to highlight once again the brilliant Pyro play out of 100B. Who was it that was playing Pyro there? Yite?
I don't know, but we're going to see the sniper out of Speedy as actually Kev's going to hold the forward spawn for him, so Speedy's going to be able to get that pick and then back spawn. They're able to get a really important pick onto bot mode, and that actually is going to mean that 100B is not going to be able to push into mid with their Uber ad, and with the how long bot mode's respawn timers, May is actually going to get a chance to let the Ubers even out. So this is an opportunity for RGL to kind of just take their time. They are up 4-3. There's 25 minutes left in this half, so there's plenty of time for 100B to make things happen, but with RGL holding mid, they can just make a bunch of low-risk plays, just run a player in behind, you know, sack a player over and over again, and, you know, they really don't give anything up by just taking these low-risk plays and letting the time bleed down.
Yeah, at the same time, there's 24 minutes left. That's a lot of time for 100B. They don't really necessarily have a whole lot to lose from letting RGL do this. They only need 2 more rounds, so if they're willing to let them try and make these mistakes... Yeah, that's true.
And Showstopper with a clean 2 rockets going to take down Kev, who is looking for something in the Riverside, looking for a 1v1, but Showstopper gave him a 1v1 he couldn't win. So we're going to see Kev likely going to come up on the sniper. He's been sniping. The last time we saw this particular stalemate was right at the beginning of the match, and Kev was able to snipe and was able to break the stalemate eventually, although it was pretty slow. Alpha is actually going to sack in. Looks like Kev wanted to spawn on the sniper, but he's going to switch over to the scout and try and meet up with his team on mid with the death of Alpha there.
Is there any chance that we could see an Alpha sniper here?
It wouldn't surprise me. We're going to see the counter sack out of Ash here. They're going to throw him in from the big door, as actually 100B is going to pop here. They're going to get onto Jay. Jay's going to be looking for an exchange. They're going to get the pop off. They're going to find enough damage on Alex, but with a much better Uber is May, as they're going to be trying to get the pick onto Jay. Jay's going to be surfing around. He's going to live for so long. Jay's still alive. Jay's able to pick Alex.exe. Jay's going to finally go down, but Kevin May are going to be the next frags in this fight. Showstopper again helping secure that frag, as Alpha's going to get pistol down. It's just going to be Shamu, and he's on mid. He's behind 100B here, as they're going to be walking in from the choke. Actually, he's actually going to get a good timing onto 404, but he's going to get cleaned up by a direct and the scattergun shot.
Jay, absolute king movement, saving that push and possibly this round for the likes of 100B. They're going to have a 60% ad going into this second point, and if they're able to clear this out relatively well, we do have Kev sniping from forwards. We have a relatively risky hold here from RGL. They're able to get in pretty safely. Alpha trying his best to get 404, taking him down to 40 health. We're going to see maybe a slowdown here out of 100B, or maybe they're just going to force both soldiers in through choke.
No, they're able to kind of regroup. They did lose bot mode. Both those soldiers aggressed him above the point, but they traded 2 soldiers for bot mode, and especially with that Uber ad, RGL knows that they don't want to give up this potential lead, because right now their win condition is either bleeding off the time or getting another round themselves, and if they don't have an advantage to try and push off of, they basically just need to not lose. As we're going to see 95% for May. It doesn't look like 100B is going to try and go off that Uber ad, so we're going to see the stalemate once again. Showstopper's going to spam down the sentry gun, so it's an opportunity for somebody to sack, as the scout's going to run in, but he's going to get cleaned up by Alpha. As Jay's actually in the secret area, so there's an opportunity for the second scout from 100B to die here, as he's going to get cleaned up. So no scouts for 100B as they try and hold on to 2.
We do have 100B holding up here in this...
Huge plays coming out of Speedy. He's actually going to get onto bot mode and clean him up in the shutter area, and they're going to get the force out of 404 as well, as, you know, with no demo for this post Uber and a better Uber for May, it looks like 100B is just going to have to get out from the choke point. They're just going to meet up with their spawner of bot mode on mid, as, it looks like the Ice trying to go to last. They're actually going to jump into
Showstopper gets May. I want to point that out real quick. We just saw them heal up their soldiers and shove them straight through choke again. We're going to see Shamu go down, Alex go down. 404 is going to have about another 4 seconds for May, probably 40-45% advantage. If they get healed up, Showstopper comes up, they could try and push this sooner rather than later. Speedy goes down as well. They're fighting on last right now. We see Yite getting some cap time, and this is a 4-4 game.
Yeah, 100B just went for the chaos play. They tried to stop 2 to make an opportunity for Yite to back cap, but 100B wasn't able to contest enough to buy enough time for that to happen, but they were able to clean up May, and 404 was able to live. He got down super low in the choke, but they weren't able to finish the frag, and it's going to be match point for both teams. It's going to be a 4-4 game as we go into our final mid.
And when it comes down to mid fights, we know that RGL kind of has that advantage. We see both scouts, excuse me, Ash going down immediately. I was going to say both scouts of 100B.
Showstopper gets May. The first successful drop down mid I think we've seen from either team. But once again, RGL, they're just able to stick together. You know, both of their scouts are able to play around Alex. They weren't able to protect Mei, but once again, I mean, the Ubers are going to be even, but RGL wins the mid. They're going to be able to get mid and maybe even get the cap off on the second here.
For what it's worth, Showstopper getting Mei made this round a lot more achievable for 100B than it would have been otherwise. We do see a crits coming out from Mei. This is an interesting, ballsy play, and I'm excited to see what Alex.exe is able to do with it. As we see that, looks like 404 is going to be holding up high. We see bombs coming across second point, Speedy going down immediately, Alpha going down immediately. No soldiers for RGL, as they're just going to back up through choke, maybe try and finish. Kev going down in choke, and we're going to see RGL backing all the way out, whereas RGL is making this aggressive play by swapping into crits. 100B is just looking to make an aggressive play by being
but this
aggressive.
could be so good for Alex. Threat 95, but Mei's gonna die. Mei doesn't see Showstopper getting in. That could have been so good if they were able to get that crits. They were all clumped up in that big door area. If they were able to get it off on literally anybody, any one of their splash classes could have done a ton of damage, but they're gonna basically wipe off the back of that. It's just gonna be Kev on last. He has to buy time for his team. The cap's gonna help him out a lot with it, as it looks like, yeah, they know. Ash is gonna be waiting. He's actually gonna try and stop too, but he's gonna die. He's gonna lose the 2v1 in the shutter door, as 100B is gonna be steamrolling into last. 404 is gonna have this Uber. They have players on the point. Alex isn't able to re-sticky it. The Pyro's going to get into contest, but they have to stand out. There's so much cap time. 100B is almost going to win this out. The spawns are coming in. RGL's going to get their Kev spawner in 2 seconds.
Shamu.
Oh, Alex.exe dies. They get on the point. They can't contest, as 100B is going to clutch it out in a 5-4 game. An absolute nail-biter there at the end, but with an absolute slugfest on the mids, 5-4 game, as 100B is going to barely clutch it out.
Yeah, that was fantastic play out of 100 Beasts that they were able to bring that back. You know, I don't know if they knew that Mei was on crits, but like I said, they responded with just real aggression. They pushed aggressively into it, knowing that there wasn't any risk of that invulnerability coming back, and they were able to get all these kills before RGL was really able to get into position. I really expected RGL to win that based off the first half, but 100B showed that they could address their problems and they could do what needed to be done to stop this from going any further.
Yeah, and again, it was really good play in the second half from the 100B soldiers. They were a little quiet in the first half, but particularly in the second half, Showstopper was able to kind of step it up. You know, he started at it was 6-15 in the first half, was able to end the game 21-24 overall. So, I mean, the overall picture is really good for Showstopper, but if you consider how bad of a first half that he had and how close it was, his second half was really good for them, and he was able to find a lot more of those Mei picks. In the first half, I mean, it was kind of a slugfest where 404 was dying a bunch, but they were able to kind of make it an even fight by, you know, they were able to get Showstopper in the back line, they were able to pick Mei, and they were able to take the fights where RGL doesn't just have an absolute heal advantage.
Yeah, and Showstopper actually picked up another 15 kills in that second half, which is a lot more than 6. I want to put that out there.
Yeah, 15 is in fact greater than 6.
Yes.
But again, we see bot mode top damaging for his team, and the damage numbers, again, we see the 3 projectile classes from RGL coming up as the second through 4th place holders of that. We're going to see Alex.exe at a big 295. Behind him is Speedy at 292, and just behind him is going to be Alpha at 276. And our top fragger for tonight is actually going to be Jay, followed by Yite. So despite, you know, being a projectile class dominated first half, we're actually going to see the scouts for 100B. I think particularly in the second half, we're able to get a lot more of those frags, especially with Mei going down. They were able to make the fights a lot easier for them.
Yeah, and whereas we really saw the scouts from RGL dominating in that first half, they really had a much quieter second half, which I think ultimately, in addition with the improved performances from Showstopper particularly, were able to turn this game around somewhat for 100B.
Yeah, and an overall picture, I mean, it is a W for 100B to take it away, but the fact that RGL did get 4 rounds means they do get a full RGL match point, which, I mean, compared to getting like 5-0 is actually a decent amount. You know, getting 2 points instead of 3 and getting 1 point instead of 0 is really good for the overall picture for these teams. Again, I think these are 2 of the teams that, you know, now that we're coming up on the halfway point for the invite season, have kind of solidified themselves as very likely to be in that LAN playoffs. That last spot maybe between like High Five Demo Man or King's Crew, I think is still kind of up in the air, but I think Furyu, 100B, and RGL have all kind of proven their worth as LAN playoff teams.
Absolutely. I'd love to see these guys play on LAN. That's right. LAN. Coming
was gonna say-
soon to a league near you.
I would say it's the first time in over 5 years that any league has had a LAN playoffs, and you might play online and you get players that are like, oh, I play with projectiles on 60 ping online. Everybody gets 144 hertz. Everybody gets 5 ping on LAN. It's really glorious. It just comes down to raw mechanical talent and how good you are as a player and as teams are. So it's been really exciting to see. It's going to be happening in, let's see, the end of March is when the LAN playoffs
I think
are.
so. I know it's in March.
Yeah, I think it's the third weekend in March. I could be wrong, but stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot more good RGL matches. This is just the halfway point in the season for both of these teams. Both of them have finished their 8th match with this one. 100B at the big 8-0 though, at the top of the invite standings. That's what you like to see. Furry Tech's gonna be behind them at 6-1, and RGL's gonna be in 3rd place at 5-3. But again, this is just the halfway point. We got basically all the matches you saw earlier in the season that were good. We're going to see them again because it's a straight round robin for invite this season. So if you had any matches you wanted that you may have missed earlier in the season that were close, we'll get them in the second half.
And I got to say, the parity this season feels so good. Even with teams that you would think might be low invite, they still put up such great fights against these great teams. And it's so much fun to watch.
I would say Kingscrew had a super close game with Dunk the other night. I mean, Kingscrew is, again, one of those teams that's kind of contending for that last playoff spot. But I mean, before Dunk kind of went through that reform, I mean, they were talking like, hey, there's a chance that we maybe even sneak in, if we get a couple upsets that, people don't see coming. The bottom invite teams, it's hard to just say that they're the bottom invite teams because they are really close with the other teams. They might lose pretty consistently, but they're close games. And, I think you could see just about anybody making LAN if, they had a series of nights that lined up for them. I think you're going to see the teams that really deserve it, they'll make it because they're just on the hairline. They're able to edge out matches. Like tonight, we saw a difference of 1 round.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait to see it in a LAN setting.
Yeah, but before we get to LAN, like I said, we get the all the matchups that we've already seen this season. I think there's a couple more matches the rest of this week. Let's see, there's a couple more on Sunday, and that's the true halfway point for the season. But most of the matches, I think with the exception of like 1 or 2, have happened so far. So.
All right, well, I'm not sure if there's anything else that needs to be said tonight.
Yeah, I think that's about all. I want to make a big shout out to Looster200 on the production. Do we have anything to plug, Looster? No? All right, well, I've been TFTV. This has been our cast of RGL versus 100B. I've been FrickMyNick. I've been joined by BILLDOZER as my co-caster and Looster200 on the camera. Hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks for coming out.
Y'all have a good night.